Imagine squeezing through a tight passage deep underground, your headlamp flickering as the air grows thick. The walls close in, pressing against your chest. Then, suddenly, you can't move. The cold rock grips you like a coffin, and you realize you are utterly alone. Your breath quickens, your heartbeat pounds, every second stretches into eternity. This is not a movie. This is not a nightmare you can wake up from. This is real, and for some, it is the last place they will ever see. For centuries, caves have lured adventurers, promising secrets hidden beneath the earth. But these underground worlds are not forgiving. Some who enter never return. Today, we reveal the most painful, terrifying cave deaths in history. Real stories of agony, desperation, and the silent horror of being buried alive in the abyss. John Edward Jones, The Nutty Putty Cave Horror, 2009. John Edward Jones wasn't supposed to die. It was supposed to be a fun Thanksgiving trip, a nostalgic adventure with his brother in Utah's infamous Nutty Putty Cave. But nostalgia turned into a living nightmare. As John crawled through the tight, twisting tunnels, he mistook an unmarked passage for a known route. The gap narrowed. He twisted his body, inching forward, until it was too late. His body slipped into a near-vertical crevice only 10 inches wide. His head facing downward, his legs trapped behind him. Panic set in. His chest was compressed, making it impossible to breathe properly. His heart struggled against gravity. As rescuers frantically worked for 27 hours, John remained conscious, talking to his family, whispering prayers, begging for another chance. But every attempt to free him failed. A rope system collapsed, and the cave itself worked against them. John's body weakened, his voice faded, until finally, silence. They could not bring him out. Today, his body remains sealed inside Nutty Putty Cave, forever entombed in the darkness. The cave was permanently shut, a graveyard for a man who just wanted to relive his childhood. Thai Cave Rescue, The Tragic Hero, 2018. The world watched in horror as 12 young boys and their soccer coach became trapped deep inside Thailand's Tam Luang Cave after sudden monsoon floods blocked their exit. For over 2 weeks, they huddled in the darkness, their oxygen running out, their bodies growing weaker. A massive international rescue mission launched, involving elite divers from around the world. They battled deadly currents, zero visibility, and passageways barely wide enough to squeeze through. Every dive was a gamble, and for one man, it was his last. Saman Kunan, a former Thai Navy SEAL, volunteered for the mission. His task? To deliver life-saving oxygen tanks to the trapped boys. But as he made his way back through the treacherous, narrow tunnels, disaster struck. His own oxygen ran out. He suffocated in the blackness, alone in the very waters he was trying to conquer. His sacrifice was not in vain. The boys were eventually rescued, but the cave claimed its price. Saman Kunan's body was retrieved, and a chilling reminder was left behind. Not everyone who fights the darkness makes it out alive. The Plura Cave Nightmare, trapped under ice, 2014. Plura Cave in Norway is a frozen tomb for those who dare to explore its depths. In 2014, a team of expert cave divers descended into its icy waters, pushing the limits of human endurance. But something went horribly wrong. 2 divers became trapped in a passage too tight to maneuver. The freezing water slowed their reflexes, clouded their thinking. One diver panicked, struggling to escape. The other, unable to turn back, could do nothing but watch as his companion's oxygen ran out. Their bodies remained in the cave for months. The government declared it too dangerous to retrieve them, but in an act of unimaginable bravery, their fellow divers launched a secret, unauthorized recovery mission. They risked their own lives to bring their fallen friends home. The horror of Plura Cave is simple. Even the best divers in the world are no match for the abyss. Owen Knight, the TikTok adventurer who never came back, 2022. Owen Knight had always been fascinated by caves. As a rising social media star, he filmed his adventures for TikTok, bringing millions along for the thrill. But in December 2022, his final expedition ended in silence. Deep inside an unexplored cavern in New Mexico, Owen live-streamed his descent, cracking jokes as he squeezed through impossibly tight spaces. His last words to his audience: "This is insane, guys. If I don't come back, tell my mom I love her." And then, nothing. The screen went black.